Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
Hey everyone, Sue here from 1A Auto, and today on our 06 Honda Element with our 2.4 liter, we're going to be changing the spark plugs. We got these from 1A Auto, so if you need this part or any other part for your car, click on the link below and head on over to 1aauto.com. Going to take the cover off that covers the actual ignition coils and spark plugs. It's just a plastic cover with these 4 nuts on there, and these nuts are a 10mm socket. Yeah, the whole stud's coming out. That's okay. Same with that one. Okay. There we go. So a quick note, you'll see that there's 2 bolts missing. They're not actually missing. They are part of the cover. So these bolts are also bolts that go and hold the coils down. So that's why I expected the nuts to come off. So I'm going to put a 10mm wrench on that. It's cut out as a hex. I'm going to break free the actual nuts, and then I'll put the studs down in to mount the coils. We'll start with the first cylinder, cylinder 1. It's a 10mm socket, and just to dismount the mounting bolt. Discard that. Lift the coil up. So now I'm going to disconnect the coil connector. There's a black tab here. I'm going to push down on that, pull it, drop that, pull the coil out. So now I'm going to take a spark plug socket. I'm going to put it down in the cylinder hole, get an extension. The spark plug socket is a 5/8, and it's got that rubber bushing in it to hold on to the socket. Hold on to the actual spark plug so you don't drop it. So here we have an iridium spark plug, and it looks fairly new, it's just black soot. So here I have the new spark plugs from 1A Auto. It's an NGK brand. It's the actual brand that this manufacturer recommends. So and here's the one we took out. It's the same exact spark plug, same number. And it's iridium, so you cannot gap an iridium spark plug. You can only get a visual and make sure that it has a gap of what it mentions. In this case, it's 0.43, which I know from experience about the gap of it. And you just want to make sure that it's not closed, touching, because some people drop them. It gets dropped in the package. It's, accidents happen, and that it looks pretty gapped, pretty good. When you do all 4, lay them against each other and line up the gap and make sure they're all pretty much the same. You never want to touch an iridium spark plug with your gapper, because they say that it can actually chip the tip of the iridium, and then of course you're going to have a misfire, and the spark plug would not be covered under defective because you made it defective. So if you need this part or any other part for your car, click on the link below and head on over to 1aauto.com. Now I'm going to put the spark plug in a spark plug socket. There's a rubber boot in there. We sell these at 1A Auto, so you can get an actual socket for your particular car, and you'll never have to search for it again. So we'll line that up. See the gap? And we're just going to bottom it out. Now the rubber is holding it in there and won't come off. We've got a crush washer, and that's when you look it up and it reads, bottom out to crush washer, turn a quarter turn after. You're compressing that washer. That's what it means. So I line it up into cylinder 1. And I always like to start spark plugs by hand. And I'm just going to bottom it right out. Once I feel it's bottomed, I'm going to turn it a quarter turn. I always like to apply a little bit of new dielectric grease, silicone paste. It just helps the gap, not the gap, but the friction on the spark plug. So I'm going to line that up, bring that down, find my ignition harness, line that up, click it in, and then drop that down in. I have my mounting bolt. Start that by hand. Just snug it up. I'm going to repeat that process to the other 3 cylinders. Now the mounting bolt for these 2 coils were missing in the beginning because the nuts were frozen on for the plastic cover, so we took them apart. I took a 10mm wrench and a 10mm socket, broke them free. Now I'm going to install these on the actual coils, then we can put the cover on. So I'm going to install the little plastic cover here. So those 2 front bolts are the coil hold down. So these are the nuts. And the actual back bolts, they're all one piece. And those go through the harness. There's an open casing in the harness. So you're holding down exactly the harness. This is just a cover, so you don't have to go crazy on the actual tightening. Just snug it down, let it just bottom out.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at 1aauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.